Okay guys, this is lesson 8.3 in our Blue GoMath book. We're working on multiplying a fraction by a whole number using models. So our essential question is, how can you use a model to multiply a fraction by a whole number? We're going to take a look down here at our first problem. Raphael practices the violin for 3/4 of an hour each day. He has a recital in 3 days. How much time will he practice in 3 days? Switching my hands here. Okay, so one question is, how many equal groups of 3/4 should we model? Any guesses? Well, how many days do we have? We have 3 days, so we're going to have 3 groups of 3/4. So one way to do this is to draw out our model. So we have 4/4, 4/4, and 4/4. So we have day 1, day 2, day 3. On day 1, he's going to practice for 3/4 of an hour. So if we shade in our model for 1, 2, 3/4, this is day 1, and we know it goes for 3 days. So day 2, he also practiced 3/4 of an hour. And day 3, he also practiced 3/4 of an hour. So one group of 3/4 is equal to, even though it sounds tricky, it's actually really simple, 3/4. On one day, he practiced 3/4. 2 groups of 3/4, so 2 days, he practiced a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/4. 6/4. Now we have our third day. Any guesses? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9/4. So if we use this model, we can look 3 times, so 1, 2, 3 times 3/4, which is how much he practiced each day, equals 9/4. So Raphael will practice for 9/4 hours in all. Now, if we take a look and simplify that, we haven't really done that in our homework, but for those of you that are jumping ahead on that, 9/4 is equal to how many wholes? 2 and 1/4. So we could also put that he would practice for 2¼ hours in all. So explain how we can use repeated addition with the model to find the product of 3 times 3/4. So we have 3 days, and he practiced 3/4 on each day. So remember that repeated addition is how many times we add what? So repeated addition because it's asking us to explain, so we're using words. For 3 times 3/4 would equal 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4. And either way you do that, if you add those up, it all equals 9/4. So this is equal to this is equal to this, right? Yes. Okay, Raphael's daily practice of 3/4 of an hour is in sessions that last for 1/4 hour each. His daily practice of 3/4 of an hour is in sessions that last for 1/4 hour each. What does that mean? So that means he only practices for 1/4 of an hour at a time, but he practices for a total of 3/4 of an hour a day. So describe how the model shows the number of practice sessions Raphael has in 3 days. So if we look at our model up here, we have 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. So our whole each day is divided into quarters. Into fourths. Each, what's it called? What, you guys remember what this 1/4 would be called? Each 1/4, which is called a unit fraction, is equal to 1 session. So if he practiced for 3/4 of an hour, he would be doing 3 1/4 sessions. 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. So our unit fraction is equal to 1 session. And now we're gonna flip over to our backside. What do we got here? Example number 2, using a pattern to multiply. You know how to use a model and repeated addition to multiply a fraction by a whole number. Look for a pattern in the table to discover another way to multiply a fraction by a whole number. So here we've got 2 times 1/6. Okay, so our whole number is 2. Our fraction, or the size of our group, is 1/6 of a whole. Our product is 2/6. If we look here, we've got 1, 2, 2 6 in each one. So we have 2 times 2/6. Our whole number is 2. Our fraction is 2/6 of a whole. And our product is 4/6 of a whole. Are you guys starting to see a pattern yet? I think I might be. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 3, 6. And we have 2 of them again, so 2 times 3, 6. So again, our whole number is 2. And our fraction is 3/6 of a whole. Our product is 6/6. So if we add those together, we get a whole. Okay, if you guys are seeing the pattern, you should be able to answer this ahead of me. When you multiply a fraction by a whole number, the numerator in the product, so our numerator up here in this one is a 6, it's our top number. The numerator in the product is the product of the whole number and the what part of the fraction? The numerator. So the numerator in our product is the product of the whole number times the numerator. So let's see if that works. 2 times 1 is 2, 2, 6. 2 times 2 is 4, 4, 6. 2 times 3 is 6, 6, 6. So it did work. It is a pattern. The denominator in the product is the same as the denominator of the fraction. Yep, 6, 6. Yep, 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 yep. Okay, so summarize. How do you multiply a fraction by a whole number without using a model or repeated addition? So what are we going to do, guys? We are going to multiply, because it's a product, multiply the whole number by the numerator of the fraction. You can hear my dog protecting the house in the background. And the denominator stays the same. Don't know why, but I feel like that should be emphasized. I'm going to put an exclamation mark. So describe 2 different ways to find the product of 4 times 2 times 3. Okay, so I'm going to do 4 times 2/3 equals 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3. And so what is that called? That would be repeated addition. Okay, another way to solve it, let's see. Well, I could do my 2/3. I could do a model. 1, 2, 3, 4 times, because we have a 4 here, times 2/3. So I'm going to shade in 2/3 here, 2/3 here, 2/3, and 2/3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8/3 is equal to 4 times 2/3. And then my third way I could solve it, I know it says 2, but I'm going to do all 3. 4 times 2/3 equals, we know that our denominator is going to stay the same, so it's going to be a 3. 4 times 2, so our whole number times our numerator equals 8. So 8/3. Those are 3 different ways we can solve that problem. Let's move on to our share and show. So finding the product of 3 times 5/8. We know that one group of 5/8 equals 5/8. Two groups of 5/8 equals, well, we know the denominator stays the same. 2 times 5 is 10. And here 3 groups of 5/8. 3 times 5 is 15. So 3 times 5/8 is equal to 15/8. And then we have it sketched out as a model over here, are 5/8, 5/8, and 5/8, 3 groups of 5/8. So either way you could use to solve for this problem. Number 2 on our share and show. We're going to multiply 2 times 4/5. Well, here's 4/5 and here's 4/5. So we have 1, 2 of them. I know my denominator is going to stay the same, so it's going to be a 5, and 2 times 4 is 8. I can double check my work by counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Check. Number 3. Ooh, we got a lot of strips here. So we have 2/3 in a strip, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of those strips. 4 times 2/3. My denominator is going to stay the same, and 4 times 2 is 8. Again, I'm going to check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got the same answer both ways, so I double checked my work. Now over here for 4, 5, just 4 and 5, they don't draw a model for you. If you need a model, you can always feel free to draw one, or you could use your fraction strips to do it. 5 times 3/10. Here's my denominator's tenths, so I know that that's what it's going to be in my answer. 5 times 3 is 15. 15/10. Okay, and then over here, we've got 4 times 5, 6. Again, I keep my denominator the same. My whole number times my numerator, 4 times 5 is 20. So 26. Okay, and then you guys are going to continue, do your on your own, front and back. We'll go over for the answers for that tomorrow. Hope you're having a great day. Bye.